I've done all of Brighton.
Hello there, you loose units, and welcome back to another episode of Spicy Boy Reviews. I'm, of course, your host, Andrew Iles. Hope you've been looking after yourselves, looking after each other, pulling your heads in and all that jazz. Welcome back. Yes, elephant in the room, I look a little bit different. That's right, I've cut all my hair off, I've shaved my face because I've recently been cast in a filming project, and although they liked my acting in the audition and my comedy, they didn't like my face so much, probably because it didn't suit the character. But here we are. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that, just thought I'd explain away why I look a little bit different this time around, but we're here to review a movie, and let's get into it. Today's movie we are reviewing is The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. Paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren take on one of the most sensational cases of their career. A young man is accused of murder, but the suspect claims he was possessed by a demonic entity, forcing the Warrens into a supernatural inquiry unlike anything they've ever seen before. The Warrens set out to find the origins of this naughty demon and tell it to piss off in The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. And that's a synopsis for The Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It, which is the third installment in the Conjuring now trilogy. Now, I haven't seen all of them. I've only seen a couple here, and I wasn't super impressed with the ones that I have watched, bar the sort of OG original Conjuring movies that this now is part 3 of. But all the spin-offs, the Annabelle and stuff that I've seen, I wasn't super impressed with it. But I do, however, appreciate that there is a horror cinematic universe, because if superheroes can do it, shit, why not horror? This one is directed by Michael Shaves, who directed the last Conjuring verse film, The Conjuring, The Curse of La 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 Leopa, whatever the hell its name is. I haven't seen that one yet, but what I've heard is nothing but terrible things. One of the first shots that I recall seeing in this film is an homage, or blatant rip-off, if you want, of The Exorcist. Not just any shot, by the way, no. The actual poster and movie cover of the film. It's like, don't do that film. Don't remind me of a horror film that I absolutely love and is probably 100 times better than this one. Then we open on an over-the-top exorcism scene of a young boy. It could have been a creepier scene, but there's so much noise and shit flying around everywhere that it's hard to focus long enough to get scared. I prefer my exorcism in films to be a little bit more subtle and creepier, but this is 2021, okay? It's got to be big and noisy and full of bloody hoo-ha and throw everything at it, including the kitchen sink, because God forbid some of the kids in the cinema might get bored and jump on TikTok mid-scene. The kid getting exercised takes it absolutely literally, contorting and twisting his body in what could only be described as the best yoga session I've ever seen. This is where the naughty demon jumps into the body of the future brother-in-law by the name of Johnson via invitation. It seems the demon has had a little bit of pre-drinks in the boy's body and is going to have a full bloody bender in Arne's shell. Now, as you probably already know, this is based on a real-life case. The title itself, The Devil Made Me Do It, was so ingrained in the zeitgeist, I remember growing up, and was so quoted that I remember you could use it as an excuse to get out of things and make people, chuckle as a bit of a joke and a throwaway line. It was that famous, and I believe it was the first time in America that demonic possession was used as a defense in a murder trial. Now, if you're looking for an honest retelling of the actual case of Arne Johnson, could be Arnie Johnson, I'm not 100% sure there, then go watch a documentary, because this is a modern horror film, okay? We're not here, we don't need silly facts and laws and shit like that bogging this film down to sell tickets. I was kind of expecting, though, going into this film that it would be a somewhat creepy court drama about an exorcist, a la Exorcism of Emily Rose, a film like that, perhaps. But then I forgot, oh, hang on a minute, it's a Conjuring film. No, it's a modern horror film in 2021. We can't have that here. They take liberties with the facts of the story, of course, they're allowed to do that. And make up a lot of shit as well, and fill in a lot of blanks because, well, they've got to pad out a runtime, don't they? And it's a Conjuring movie. And especially with the antagonist, obviously blatantly made up there. But the real-life case itself is obviously the spine and the blueprint to do a Conjuring movie. I think it goes without saying that the chemistry between Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga is phenomenal. It's 10 out of 10. It always has been, and it always bloody will be. I don't think I have to say that. I'll preface that. I think we all know that's what makes the Conjuring films work, and why the original trilogy now is way better than all the other crap that they've released under the Conjuring name. But yeah, any Conjuring film they decide to star in, these two, I'm there for. I'm not sure exactly how well known the Warrens were at this time, film being based in 1981 here. But it seems that everyone knows exactly who they are and what they do. I guess because they were on TV before this case, so they were in the public eye, and there was only bloody 3 channels back then, so there you go. But yeah, everyone seems to know exactly what they do in this film and in this universe and what they're up to. Everyone's just dying to meet them. There's some humorous moments and transitional scenes that made me giggle and laugh and release the tension, and I think a film like that needs this. Needs a little bit of humour inserted in there, but it didn't take away from the storyline or the tension, if you will, so it was quite nice to have a bit of levity to certain scenes. Cinematography was very dark as well. It was hard to make anything out, and everything seemed a little bit distorted and out of focus. I don't know if that was a stylistic choice or the cinema that I saw it in, and maybe the projector was on the fritz or something, but I mean, it's not a terrible thing for a horror film to be dark. I think they have to be, because what goes on in the shadows is all spooky and stuff. This one, yeah, it was very noticeable in kind of a bad way. And again, as I said, horror films need shadows and darkness and stuff like that, but it wasn't used cleverly like, say, it was in Hereditary. The day scenes, however, looked great. A very sun-kissed look, which I always love in movies, especially in period pieces. And it looks like in the day shots in this, it was filmed like they were taking inspiration from a photo from 1981, which is when the film was set, and I think they did that perfectly. Of course, there's jump scares. It's a modern horror film, and it's the Conjuverse. There has to be, and I absolutely despise jump scares. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. It's just the equivalent of someone coming up behind you going, "Nah!" which is really, really annoying. But it didn't really annoy me so much in this one, probably because there wasn't so many as there has been in other Conjuring movies, or movies like The Conjuring. And you could see these ones coming an absolute mile away, so it was not scary at all. The evil entity in this film and the antagonist in this is very convoluted. I wasn't a fan of it. I wasn't too engaged with it. Didn't even appreciate the reveal of what it was or who it was or whatever. And I was like, ugh, okay. However, I did love the investigation and the lead up to it. There's 2 things I love in horror films, okay? If this is in your horror film, you've sold me. Is an investigation story where they're, peeling the layers away from an onion. Good metaphor there. And then the other one is any reveal or investigation has to do with the occult. If you have those 2 things in your film, I'm sold. The best way to watch a horror film is in a cinema with a bunch of strangers, and that's exactly what me and my fiancé did, and it's the best experience to have seeing a horror film. It's a great experience. You get lots of little giggles to release tension, audible jolts of fear with certain audience members, and there's a good vibe in the cinema. Like, everyone knows whatever's on screen, they can't take too seriously. I just enjoyed the experience, to be honest with you. In saying that, I didn't find this movie scary at all. I don't know if it had any tension. I didn't feel any. But in saying that, I did enjoy it. I did have an enjoyable experience. Yeah, with a bunch of strangers in the cinema, having a bit of a giggle and whatever, watching a horror film. I won't be watching it anytime again soon, for that matter, but it was enjoyable nonetheless. Way better than the abomination that was The Unholy. My God. The Unholy is what wishes it was this movie, I swear to God. Like I said before, they take liberties with the story that this movie's loosely based on, and really kind of has nothing to do with it, really. It's just the blueprint or spine. But yeah, it's fun nonetheless. There is a climactic exorcism scene that we see the accused flying around the room, 5 feet in the air, contorting his body in the most inhumane way possible, making beastly noises while the windows shatter around him and hurricane-leveled winds blow through the room, blowing shit around the room and stuff like that, and it is all witnessed by prison staff. Now, if that actually happened in real life, they would throw this case out instantly. They'd be like, oh, he's claiming that he was possessed by a demon? Yeah, we saw that shit. But it's a Conjuring film, and they take liberties with the story, and yeah, again, I was kind of expecting a creepy courtroom thriller or something. There may be a flashback between exorcism and the murder and the courtroom and stuff like that. But that's not this film, so don't go in there expecting that, even though I believe marketing and the trailers sort of made out that it was going to be that way. It's not. But however, like I said, had a fun time watching it. Again, it's one of the okay, decent horror films that I've seen in recent past. Not the best. It Ain't a Quiet Place Part 2, which is chef's kiss, but still a good time, and I think that has to do with the two main actors. Anyway, guys, that's my review of The Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It. I've been wanting to see this film for quite a while, but due to things happening in the world and my schedule and all that sort of stuff, I've only just recently seen it now, and here is my review. You've seen it. If you could, please just give this episode a like. Your love and support keeps this channel supported and keeps going. And please hit that subscribe icon and notification because we get out spicy content weekly. And as always, kids, stay spooky.